Hey, it's Charlie for the 45, and today we are here with Ashe. Hey, Ashe, how's it going?
Hello, I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm good. So we're like, what, 10 days away from the release of your second album, sophomore album, as they would say in America. Rae, how are you feeling? What's going on?
I I don't know. It definitely feels different than my first album. This whole thing's been a lot more fun, I think, for me.
Oh, that's good.
Um, yeah, I think in a positive way, I've taken it less seriously in like a healthy way. Like I think we end up like putting all of our like selves and our self-worth into something. And I think I felt a lot more free with this album and liberated. And so I'm excited, and I'm excited to see, what the world thinks, but I also just love it. So that's kind of how I'm feeling.
I feel like that's a bit of a theme of this album is like caring less about what other people think.
I'm doing all right at it. I think like any human being, I like go through in and out phases of that. But today in particular, I'm feeling very like, hell yeah, I love what I made. And that's all that I really care about right now. So,
It's
yeah.
cool because like a lot of artists obviously talk about difficult second album, but doesn't seem like you suffered from that too much.
No, I mean, I think that creating it, there were moments that I was like, you know, what are you gonna say? You have to say something,
Mm.
Every artist is like, what do I need to say? And I think I didn't have to force it too much. I knew I was coming out of, I think, a very serious era with, moral of a story, and I just wanted to have some fun. And I think that comes through in the music. And I wanted to make something that didn't sound kind of like what I was hearing from my peers. Um, and so, yeah, I think it was like a easy challenge in a weird way because I just had to sort of do whatever I wanted and have fun. And yeah.
That's cool. Your numbers are obviously insane. I don't think when anyone goes into like making music, you kind of think about numbers in the like 400 million capacity. Like, can you even begin to process that stuff, or is it just an abstract number to you?
Yeah, I try to kind of not focus on it too much, only because I think like it's incredible, and I'm so grateful that I think we just hit like 1 billion total
Whoa.
streams on like everything. And I think that there's like, I will forever be grateful for that, but I think there's also like a danger to if you put all your sort of like happiness and self-worth into high numbers, then when numbers are low, which inevitably they will because no career skyrockets forever, you will be completely depressed and saddened and hard to pick off the ground. So I've tried to have a reasonable balance with that relationship with the numbers, just because, yeah, I'm grateful for the big ones, but they don't like define where I'm at. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it totally makes sense. I think it's a sort of weird. Um, I talk to like a lot of artists who have this kind of different relationship with TikTok particularly, and some people are like, oh, I can't be bothered with it. Some people kind of embrace it, but then also like when you have like a track that's like blown up like that, it's kind of other people respond to you in a sort of strange way, or like respond to things in a strange way. I feel like it kind of creates this odd sort of pressure or conversation around your music, which like I don't know how you navigate that really as an artist. Do you know what I mean? No, I'm not making sense.
No, we're verbally processing together. No, I mean, I don't think we have to have sort of a right answer about it. anyways. But I completely hear what you're saying. I think a lot of artists have a very complicated relationship with TikTok right now. And I see a lot of the good, and I see a lot of the like source of the anxiety. But I think a lot of the like the anxiety is like what you allow it to be in your life, like something
Yeah.
like TikTok. Like you can decide to have fun with it and play with it, or you can make it be this really sort of like the enemy of your career. And that sounds miserable. I picked the first option. Like I rather have fun with it and play with it. And then when I'm not into it, I don't do it. I think I think that's the other secret. I feel like I'm being so real right now.
That's good. That's what we like.
Okay, good. But yeah, I don't know. I think that yeah, I really can't be bothered with it on days that I can't be bothered with it. And then other days, you know, you have fun and you play around. And I think your audience and your fans, they don't care if your TikTok has 1 million views or 10 million views. They just want to hear about your life and see what you care about. And that has to matter more, you know.
Where do you find the balance between like showing enough but not like giving too much of yourself away?
I think I'm working on finding the balance still. I think that there's been songs, or even rolling out this album, I think that there were times where I was like, said way too much. I was like, I gave nothing left to guess, or I took away the mystery. And then there were other songs that I was like, well, I feel like I didn't give quite enough, or I was being too mysterious, and then there wasn't enough interest. So I don't know. I think, again, I don't think that there's a right way to do it. I think we're all kind of just like, especially with something like TikTok, you're throwing shit against the wall and seeing what sticks. And I think you just have to like go with your instinct and see what shows up, you know.
So I want to talk about the record, obviously. But let's start with Love Is Letting Go. So beautiful. Diane Keaton, what the hell? I mean, it's all so cool, but I know you're a big fan, and she's obviously a complete legend. Where does your connection with her start?
Well, she's been sort of like my North Star, basically my whole life. Since I was, you know, a teenager watching her movies, and there's just something so unapologetically quirky and authentic and wonderful about her, that she's always kind of been her, even in her movies, you know. I mean, she can play any role, but then I always have the most fun watching movies where she's like sort of so herself. And I got to have dinner with her like the night the song came out, and it was literally just me and her sitting at a table together, and no one else. I was like, who left me alone with Diane Keaton? This is like, this is a mistake. And I just remember being like, she is so her. And yeah, I just think I couldn't have picked a better role model, you know. Yeah. So I've always adored her, and then have sort of slowly over time weirdly manifested this like friendship into now making a song together. And yeah, it's the most ridiculous. It matters so much more than the billions of streams, you know, as just linking back to sort of what we were talking about. Those pale in comparison to sort of sitting at dinner with her, you know.
And you know, like a song about such a kind of difficult period and a shared experience between you, like have you like found sort of strength in each other like through this as well? Has she been like a help to you in that sense?
Oh man, I mean, her just being sort of present and present with the song. Like when she was actually recording the vocals, I was in the room listening to her, and you could sort of just hear her, like, you know, when it gets stuck in your throat, when you're just right on the edge, and just sort of like seeing her be very available and present to that, the meaning of that song, I think alone meant the world to me. Gosh, I don't know, whatever I have to offer her, I don't know. I have nothing to offer. She's the queen, but I think she did have a lot of fun getting to do something, you know, that she's never done before. So that was a real like pleasure and honor for me.
You've said that this record is like marking a new kind of sexy, confident era in your life. The opener, Rae's theme, is like, it's so great, and it's like definitely like sets that tone off. Like it's so loungy, like I love it. But like what do you think's prompted this kind of like growth in you?
You know, I think it's interesting. I always say that like albums are snapshots of where you're at or where an artist is at currently in their life. And in a weird way, this album was like manifesting this new era that I'm in. Because when I was working on the album, I was in a relationship that was sort of fine, but I didn't feel amazing in. I didn't feel very good in my body. I had an interesting relationship with sexuality and femininity. And so when I was working on this album, I was like, screw it, let's play with all these things that I've never really allowed myself to touch. And so we started to do that, and it sort of started to unlock this whole piece of me that I didn't really know existed. And I never thought I was sexy. I've always had a weird relationship. I've always been a tomboy, whatever that means, and have never felt like the hot girl in the room or something like that.
Really?
And never until this album. And then I was like, hell yeah. I was like, I'm hot. Like, I don't know, something clicked where I was willing to accept that I could express that side of me. And I'm still the girl who loves turtlenecks. And, you know, I'd rather be like in the garden with my hands in the dirt than like shopping. But I get to play with all the things, you know? So it was a really fun experiment. And I think writing this album propelled me into this new era, you know.
That's cool. Yeah, what I mean, no, it's just cool that you can, like, obviously manifestation is a thing that a lot of people talk about, but like, yeah, I think I should try it more.
Well, yeah, I still like woo-woo, right? We're always talking about like manifest your dreams. And I was like, at this point, I'm like, I'm a witch. Like if I just fall in love with Diane Keaton when I'm a teenager and then one day I have a song with her, you can't convince me that I'm not a witch. I'm a witch. There's no other way to say it.
I think that's the logical conclusion, definitely.
That's it. There's no other way to say it.
On Angry Woman, which is a wicked song, I love that. I love the video. I love that you reference this Yoko Ono thing. Project, she's so cool. I love the message behind it. What prompted you to write a song like that?
Well, I was really angry. I got really angry. Yeah, you know, there was like a scenario with an elder white male that I was really pissed off by. And it was like it was the spark that lit the song, and then the song took on its whole other existence. But yeah, I think that I grew up in a household where anger was a dangerous emotion. It wasn't something that was healthy to be felt. Like anger equals pain, anger equals holes in the wall. So I had a really unhealthy relationship with anger. And that, that quote, nobody likes an angry woman, is so demeaning. And so, like when people call women crazy, and I don't think I had experienced it on a personal level until, a little later in life. And I was like, there's a righteous anger that is healthy and should be felt and shouldn't be bottled up, and that we need to let out of our system. And maybe if we did, we wouldn't implode and make some really scary decisions. I think that there's times to let it out. And it's funny, during the live show, you see the whole crowd just light on fire during that song. And it's like, wow, I guess we got a lot of anger in the room we need to let out, guys. Just let's do it. So yeah, that was really long-winded, but yeah, that's the song.
No, it's true. It's like, yeah, feeling things that you are feeling because of the way society is and all the annoying shit that you have to deal with in a daily way. And then they tell you you're not even allowed to be annoyed about it. It's so frustrating.
Yeah. It's not to say like, hey, like I'm angry all the time, but I think it is healthy to let yourself experience those emotions and not be scared of them, because I was scared of them for a really long time. And to express them in healthy, constructive ways versus ways that are end up like destroying you from the inside out,
Yeah. There's a line in the song that says, "You said my sound wasn't pop enough for you," which just felt like a really familiar story. I don't, I can imagine what that's about, but it feels like a familiar story of women in the industry being told that they have to be a kind of certain way, and if they don't tick all these boxes, then somehow they're like not marketable or something. And I think what's interesting when you have artists who are like in their late 20s, early 30s, who have like lived a life and are like a little bit more confident, that maybe now we're getting this kind of like new wave of pop stars who are able to sort of like push back on that in a way that you maybe couldn't when you were like 16 or something. But I was just interested to know how your kind of experience over the years of the industry has changed, and whether like coming to this kind of level of success at this age you think is beneficial.
Whoa. I mean, woo, woo. Pause for a great question. I think at some point you get to a place in your life where you're unwilling to compromise because life is short. I think that's sort of the beauty of getting older, that, I think that I wish you could just kind of plant like a 60-year-old mind into like a 16-year-old just for a day. And if you could like absorb some of it, because life is just so incredibly short. And I think that's another thing, getting to meet Diane and working with her, she's like, I'm not thinking about what the goals for my future are or what's my 5-year plan. I'm 76 years old, like, what's the point? So I'm going to be here right now and enjoy this sort of present moment. And so I think that philosophy, that I'm not sure anyone really gets until you just age a little. I don't know. I think
I'm also not saying you're old, by the way.
Oh, thanks. No, I mean, I don't think I'm that old.
You're really not.
Not, but I mean, I am, I'm not 16. So, and I think there's just a different perspective. But my point, I guess, that I'm taking forever to get to is that I'm now at a place in my career where I don't want to write songs I don't like for people I don't care about. to sing them 20 years from now and hate my job. You know, I rather make music that I really love. I think it sounds like pop music. I think that pop music in the 70s, it sounds more like pop music from the 70s, you know, but you know, I'm not making weird avant-garde jazz music out here. I think it falls into sort of that category. And I don't know, you just have to kind of come to terms with like, you might as well just make what you like. And then, you know, God forbid, I always say this, like, God forbid you have a hit song that you hate, because you stuck with that song forever. And like, imagine if Carole King hated It's Too Late or Beautiful or something. Yeah. Like, any show she ever plays, people are going to expect her to play those songs. So it's kind of like, you might as well love what you do. And then if, you know, it goes off and you have a hit, then awesome. And if not, then you made something you're proud of. Wow, I'm so long-winded with these answers.
I think my question was equally long. It's fine. And yeah, I read that like when you were making the album, you like went to Big Bear, you were listening to like Led Zepp and Pink Floyd, which sounds like a really good time to me. Was it like, tell me about the process of making the record out there.
That was one of the best weeks of my life. I think five records on the album were made during that trip. And the album's only, I think, like 13 songs. I should know.
It's 14.
Oh, thanks. Appreciate it. Including that intro.
Sure. I feel like yeah, okay, sure.
Theme is, yeah, we're both right. Five out of 14 is a lot of songs. So we really got a lot done in Big Bear. But the whole point of the trip was we just go out to the mountains, turn off, and just make songs that we like and have a really good time doing it. I sent like this email ahead of time to all the writers and was like, the point of this trip is not to finish an album. The point of this trip is not to write hit songs. The point is purely the process, and it's to do what we do best. Let's get over our egos. We all know we're good at this. Like, this is why we're at where we're at. Let's do what we do best together because we love each other and just have a fucking great time. I'm sorry, can I say that?
Yeah.
Okay, you can bleep me. And we did. And those songs are some of my favorite. Love You Need, which is like the piano ballad of the record. That was the very last song written at Big Bear. On My Way, which is like the single of the album when we put it out. Love Is Letting Go with Diane Keaton. We wrote that at Big Bear. They're just some of my favorite songs on the record were done there. And it was purely from a place of, let's just create, get back to basics. I mean, imagine an A&R calling us and being like, so we think you're lacking the upbeat record and we need like a song that's a little bit sadder to fill out the album. I would have a fit if someone came in and was like, here's the objective of this week. You know, the objective was just to do what we do and have a good time. And I made dinner every night for everyone and we drank wine. And
what's your specialty?
What did we make up there? I think like I mean, it's a lot. It wasn't tons of people, but it was enough people that like a good meatball spaghetti situation. I think I made salmon one night. That was over ambitious. Yeah, it was just fun. We'd like have a whole day of writing, pause, I'd make dinner, guys would start producing the song, kind of get a bed, we'd all eat dinner, and then I'd go back and record the vocals and we'd all get drunk. And then we'd start over the next day. And then it would just be this like, I don't know, it felt like something out of a storybook, you know, or like how writing used to be done or something, you know?
Yeah, it sounds like how all music should be made, but how are you not having that A&R call you up and be like, we need this? Like, how have you managed to kind of sidestep that?
Well, I think, I mean, honestly, I think it's because they've tried and they've failed. Um, I've just really surrounded myself with a team, I think, that trusts me and wants me to do what I want to do. I'm not incredibly aimless. And I think there are artists who need more direction. And there's zero wrong with that. I'm just one of those artists where, like, if you tell me to do something, I'm gonna do the opposite just because I'm angry. I'm like a little rebellious child. And so I don't know, either people have learned that about me or they just, I think more on a positive note, I think my team around me just really respects me and lets me do sort of what I want to do.
That's so good. You talked about this like album being part of a trilogy. Have you started thinking about what the next one might sound like?
Yeah. I mean, how can I not? I don't know what sonically. I'm not sure exactly where it goes. I have started to write a little bit here and there, just sprinkling, because like after you finish an album, you stop writing for a while, or at least in my case, I stopped writing, I went on tour, and then I got back from tour and really started missing it. So, sorry, is that plane so loud? Shut up. So I started sprinkling in, you know, little sessions here and there, and I am in love recently.
Oh, congratulations.
Thank you. It's so fun. God, being in love is so fun. At least, you know, in that beginning phase too. So I think I hardly have ever touched love songs. And so I'm excited to like delve into some of the storytelling of that, but we'll see where sonically it takes me. I don't know.
That's very exciting. And okay, what track on the album are you most psyched for people to hear?
I think it's between, can I take, I feel like it's between On My Way and Love You Need. They couldn't be more different from each other. I think On My Way is just like one of the funnest songs I've ever made, and we had the most fun making that song. Like I said, that was one of the Big Bear records, and all of us are on that song. Everyone who wrote on that song is singing. If you listen closely, we're all sort of have these gang vocals singing in the background, and there's videos of us like shouting into the microphone from around the room. So I think that's probably the one. And then Love You Need, I think, is really special. But yeah, a little bit sweeter and slower. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see.
Well, thank you so much. I really appreciate your time. I know you're probably like stacked right now, but yeah, congratulations on the record. It's so beautiful, and I'm excited for it to be out for you.
Thank you. Me too. It was such a pleasure to chat with you, and sorry I'm so long-winded sometimes. Oh, that's my laundry.
Perfect timing.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing. Wow, perfect timing. So nice to meet you.
You too. See you later.
Yeah.